to notice I didn't put this up here.
Thank you, Dennis, for the school. I'd like to start by recognizing my family and those who came to support me here tonight, starting with my mom and dad, Ron and Becky Davis. And my kids want all stand, so I'm going to introduce them one by one. My daughter, Georgia Sawyer. My son, Bruce Sawyer. And my youngest daughter, Natalie Sawyer. My sister, Kelly Bird. My brother, Ron Davis. And good friend, Susan Hearn. My longtime coach and his wife Sid and Sherry Carvalho. My Uncle Steve. Judy and Jimmy Sharp. And good friends Gina Spence, Catherine Hearn, and Deb Segura. I'd like to first thank the Hall of Fame committee and also say hello and thank my fellow inductees and thank everyone for coming tonight. When I first received the call from one of my childhood idols, Bill Neely, that I was going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, I was elated and honored. But at the same time, I had mixed feelings. I could barely remember anything else Bill said that day. But all I can remember was wondering whether my brother had gotten in. So at the end of the conversation, I found out that he had not. And I hung up the phone and I cried. It's a huge honor for me to be here tonight. It's a huge honor for my family. But at the same time, I was wondering why me, not my brother. I started to think about it, and I think I figured it out. We had to submit our nomination forms. We had to list our accomplishments. And on the very top line, under my most noteworthy of accomplishments, in 1987, in big, bold letters, I put the best win of my life. Defeated my brother, Ron Davis, one set for the very last time. He was 19 and I was 19, he was 15. And that really was the best one of my life. I read a book called Outliers a couple of years ago, and in that book, Malcolm Gladwell talks about a handful of very successful people such as Bill Gates, who had achieved an extreme level of success. In each chapter, the author went on to detail not only about each one of these people who were extremely talented or skilled in their craft, but also the extenuating circumstances and environmental factors behind their extreme level of success. The author also talked about the average that it takes for someone to achieve that level of success. And it usually takes, for an athlete to become a professional athlete, or someone such as Bill Gates, it takes about 10,000 hours to get to that level. I believe I put in my 10,000 hours, but there are also a handful of people who did those 10,000 hours with me. I wouldn't be here tonight without a Hall of Fame mom, a Hall of Fame dad, Hall of Fame brother and sister, and a Hall of Fame coach. Sorry kids, you weren't born yet. I'd like to start by thanking my dad, who instilled a sense of self-belief for me and taught me the value of hard work. For example, when I very first started playing tennis, one of my very first tennis tournaments, I played a girl named E.G. Maybanks. And E.G. Maybanks had been playing since she was 4 years old. She was #1 in the state. When they called our names to play the match, Davis versus Maybanks, I swear to this day, she walked up to me, twirling her racket, smacking on a stick of gum, and looked down her nose at me and said, "Are you Davis?" As if to say, "Follow me, you little chump, while I proceed to whoop you and get on about my day." And she did. E.G. Maybanks beat me 4 more times that year, my first year playing tournaments. And each time I got a little closer. I won a couple more games. And as I started to narrow the margin, my dad would say, "You're better than her, Julie. You can do this. You can beat her." 1 year later, in my very first state championship final, I played E.G. Maybanks for the 6th time. And in a very hard-fought 3-set match, I came out on top and won my very first state championship. I don't think I ever thought I could beat E.G. Maybanks. And I would have definitely never won that first match if it wasn't for hearing my dad's voice in my head. He's giving me that sense of self-belief. I also remember the very next day going to practice after that first state championship and walked on the court with my coach Sid, and he just looked at me and said, "What's next? Are we done?" I don't know if he remembers that. But it really, I think I just laughed and went to the other side of the court. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. But that was the first of many more to come. I'd like to thank my mom for her loving kindness and her support. All the time she shoved me back and forth to practice, all those cities that we've been lost in, all the days in the summer, the hot summer heat, she got sunburned I don't know how many times. All those harsh winter days when she sat shivering underneath a blanket to watch me play. She never complained, she never said a harsh word. And she's been a great example to me. She held it together most of the time, just like I try to today. I'd also like to thank my sister, who was also outside that fence watching me play many a time. I'd like to thank her for her belief and support. There were many a times that I would get behind at the beginning of a match. And when I came off the court, my sister would say, "I knew you would come back." And there were many times that I came back from behind. I don't believe I would have done that without the support of having her and my mom and dad and brother and whoever else was there outside the fence believing that I could do it. I'd like to thank my brother for the millions of tennis balls that he hit with me. My brother is one of those extenuating circumstances or environmental factors that helped me get here today. We hit a lot of tennis balls. We grew up playing together. I don't think we could have asked for a better brother. And couldn't ask for a better hitting partner. I'm so glad that he's sitting here tonight and he's been so supportive of my being here. And I'd also like to thank Sid Carvalho, my lifetime coach, for being here tonight and for teaching me the value of hard work, consistency, and how to dream big. There were many times Sid came to pick me up, bring me to the tennis court. He drove 30 minutes to get there. He drove 30 minutes to the tennis court and to help us get our practice in during the winter. He coached me for about 10 years. So we had a lot of good times together. I grew up with Sid. A lot of people say that they learned everything they needed to know in kindergarten. I learned just about everything I needed to know through Sid. Sid endured our teenage years, by the way. And I think there's times when I actually tried to make him mad, but you couldn't rattle him. In our immaturity and sometimes in our foolishness or absurdity, we might come up to Sid and say, "Sid, I want you to win the U.S. Open." And he would respond in one of his most famous replies, and he would just say, "Go for it." And he was only I think he was only in his mid-20s at the time. I don't even know if he realized the impact that he had on me. There are no glass ceilings and no boundaries with Go For It. So I appreciate that. I don't think there's anything more impacting that someone could say. Not a day goes by. I want to make sure he knows this, that I don't employ something that Sid taught me. So I'm very thankful. And lastly, to my kids, Jordan, Bruce, and Natalie, I love you so much. You are 3 blessings in my life. Through some very difficult times, you have been continual fountains of joy to me. My mission now is to help you achieve your dreams and to help you get exactly where you want to go in life. Actually, you know what? I want to back up. There's a couple people I didn't get to thank. I'd like to thank Judy Sharp for nominating me. So I want to make sure. I really appreciate that. I'd also like to thank Bill Neely for starting the Hall of Fame. And there are a couple more people that can't be here tonight. The late Mr. Neely, Mrs. Richardson. They treated us like their own. Roger Neely, Bill Neely, Keith Richardson. They were great tennis players who came before us and taught us that a small town kid from Rock Hill could go on to do bigger and better things. But lastly, I want to charge my kids. I want you to make sure that you never give up. Never be afraid to fail, because failure is only a stepping stone to your success. Always persevere. Because it's not how many times you fall down, but how many times you get back up that counts. I want to make sure I don't forget these. This is important. Never live your life saying, what if? Very lastly, dream big. If your dreams aren't big enough to make you, give you butterflies in your stomach, they're not big enough to make somebody else laugh, and they're not big enough. I'd like to thank God for bringing me here tonight and for giving me the ability to glorify Him through tennis.